Okay, so we've got some more rugby league news to discuss. Victor Radley will not play for England against Australia this autumn. He's withdrawn from all selection. He's informed Sean Wayne and the England coaching setup that he doesn't want to be selected for this Test series. And for once, Victor Radley's shown some common sense. He actually has shown some common sense. Now, he's currently got a 10-week suspension without pay by the Sydney Roosters, and we're yet to see if that's for next season or from when he was suspended last week, ongoing through the off-season and pre-season. But he's been suspended by his club, and of course we know the ongoing legal issues that Brandon Smith, his former teammate, is facing, that has dragged Victor Radley into this saga, because obviously Brandon Smith, one of his associates, was under investigation for drugs offences. Brandon Smith's name came up in the police investigation. Brandon Smith is now facing drug charges and betting charges, because when Brandon Smith's phone was seized, he had failed to delete very incriminating text messages. Now, how those messages got out is another question for another day, and questions that Queensland Police and the Queensland judicial system have to answer, how the press got hold of that evidence, basically, when there's an ongoing criminal investigation. Now, Brandon Smith and his lawyer, they've argued for an adjournment. He has a further court appearance down the line. Victor Radley may yet be called as a witness to that court appearance, and there's nothing to... and at the moment, Victor Radley could not quite out of hot water. It's been a very embarrassing time for Victor Radley and the Roosters. I do think this is a common sense decision. I think had Victor Radley been eligible for selection or had gone and played the Test series, I think that would have become a negative media circus. There would have been a lot of pressure on Sean Wayne to justify selecting Victor Radley, and of course the media would have become a circus. Both the Australian sports media and the British sports media are not known for holding their punches. They're quite a vicious media bunch, and they feed upon headlines like this. So I do think this is a common sense decision that Victor Radley has announced that he doesn't want to be selected for this Test series. But then, could that be his Test career over? Yes, the World Cup is in a year's time, but could this mean his Test career is done? There is no doubt that when he's fully fit and fully focused, and yes, he has had some concussion issues this season, but when he's fully fit, fully focused, he is a brilliant forward. He's a brilliant lock, and he can also cover the dummy half role. He's a brilliant, basically, back row forward. He's a tackling machine. He's a great ball carrier, and he's got very good handling skills. Now, yes, there are mistakes in his game, and we've seen that for England at the last World Cup. There definitely are mistakes in his game. But at the same time, he's a very versatile forward. He's a high energy player. He's an impact player. He's known for the big hits, hence his nickname, the Inflictor. He can throw some big hits. Now, yes, he has been suspended for missed time hits. He has got the tackle area wrong. He's been suspended for foul play. Yes, we know that. He plays the game on the edge, and I think England will miss Victor Radley not being in the side. At the same time, though, I think it would have become a media distraction and a media circus, which would have, I think, impacted the squad negatively. A lot of these rugby league players, because the sport is seen as a very niche sport here in the UK, whereas in Australia it's big news. A lot of these young lads who will be potentially playing their first games for England, and in some cases their last tests for England, some of them have never played Australia before. A lot of them will not be used to that kind of media circus, so I think Victor Radley's done the right thing. I think it eases the pressure on Sean Wayne and the squad, and I think it sort of removes that media circus in that sense out of the conversation, and England can focus on being the underdogs and playing at a sold-out Wembley and playing at a sold-out Bramley Moore Dock Stadium and playing at a sold-out Headingley at a time when rugby league in this country needs some positive headlines, with all the negativity and uncertainty surrounding Super League and individual clubs and the sport and funding. Rugby league right now in England and the UK and Europe as a whole needs this Test series to be a success. They need England to be competitive. They need these young lads to step up. And there is the potential they could be, score an underdog win in one of the three tests. It would be fantastic if they could take it to a decider. It really would. It would be great for rugby league if that was to happen. I've not seen an England, Australia or Great Britain, Australia test for a long time outside of a World Cup. The last time these two nations played was the World Cup final in 2017. And apart from the group stages where they met in the opening match and the World Cup final, they have not met for a generation. This is a big moment for rugby league as an international sport. It's a big moment for the sport in this country, as it is at a crossroads. And yeah, I think Victor Radley has done the right thing. Now, whether he plays for England again in the future with the World Cup next year and beyond, that's another topic for another day. He potentially has basically called time of his international career. Potentially. Because if England play better without him, and whoever fills that role within the squad or the starting lineup plays better than Victor Radley would have played, a star could be born, or a couple of players who could fill the role that Victor Radley does. If they play really well and take it to the Aussie pack, suddenly that creates a different debate about Victor Radley's role within the England setup going forward. But there we go. Victor Radley will not play for England against Australia, and we shall see how that impacts England and how that impacts Victor Radley's international career going forward, but I think it is the right decision at this time. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I will have some more content for you all very, very soon.